His specialism is artificial intelligence and computer science, and one of his interests as well is the topic of what we're speaking tonight, the environment. So without further ado, he's come all the way from London, so I'll give him the rest of the night. Dr Usama Hasan.
Thank you. Yeah, no. Thank you. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Right, here we'll begin with the name of God. And I'm going to start by reciting from the Quran. Fazlun, did you recite from Surah Al-Rahman? You normally do. You did?
Go ahead.
He did. Then I won't recite it again, but I'll read the meaning. I'm going to end by reciting a poem, actually, by one of the greatest English poets, I think. But in between, I'll just talk about Islam and the environment. So, Surah Al-Rahman we often quote. It's one of the most beautiful surahs in the Quran. It's entitled The Most Merciful. And the translation goes something like this: in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. The merciful God. He taught the Quran. He created human beings. He taught them eloquence. The sun and the moon run by on a course accounted and determined. And the stars and the trees bow down in adoration. And the earth he has raised it high, and he has set the balance, that you may not transgress in the balance. And establish fair measure with justice, and again do not transgress in the balance. And the earth he has placed it for his creation. In it are fruits and palm trees with the sheath of fruit, and the shrubs holding seeds and sweet-smelling flowers. So then which of the favours of your Lord will you deny? Now that's the opening to that surah, to that chapter, the most merciful. And the rest of the surah, for those familiar with it, of course know, that refrain occurs every 2 or 3 verses. Which of the favours of your Lord will you deny? So it's a very powerful and emotive surah. But the key point there is about the creation of the heaven and the earth, and the sense of balance, equilibrium, you could say, the cosmic balance, and do not transgress the balance, do not upset the divine order, which is how the world has been created in harmony. So, obviously it's a huge topic, the environment. People have been campaigning about it for years, for decades. I'd just like to talk about just some issues related especially to Muslims. But firstly, why should we look after the earth? And obviously I apologise if some of this has already been said today, because I wasn't here. I don't know exactly what was said, but inshallah, if it hasn't been said, then it's something new. If it has been said, it is emphasis, and it's good to drill home some of these points. Why should we look after the earth? Now, there are many reasons. Of course, there are purely secular reasons, if you like. People would say, based on the survival of our species and looking after, in a kind of very materialistic way, people will say. Because if we destroy the earth, we can't exploit it anymore. I mean, that's the view of some people, basically. If you destroy the earth, you can't make any more money out of it. But certainly for Muslims, for believers and people of God, it's because the earth is sacred, for a start. Allah says in the Quran, Inna al-abda, the earth belongs to God. It is described as a blessed earth. Many Muslims forget this. It's in the Quran. It says, وَبَارَكَ فِيهَا وَقَدَّرَ فِيهَا أَقْوَاتَهَا فِي أَرْبَعَةِ أَيَّامٍ. God blessed the earth. So the whole of the earth actually is blessed. It's a place of blessing. And He determined the staple diet, or the staple food in every land. It's called qut. قَدَّرَ فِيهَا أَقْوَاتَهَا. So that's why Muslims understood there's always that's why you get different foods and fruits and vegetables in different seasons. That is the determination of God. He determined the staple food of every land and every season, which reflects the local environment and reflects the needs of the people there, the creatures, animals and human beings. So for example, in hot countries, the food there, or the fruits which are produced, are suitable for that environment. Dates, olives, figs, whatever. In colder countries, you will get other fruit and vegetables which again are suitable. So in Britain, you have potatoes, I suppose.
Cabbage and carrots.
Number one. Cabbage and carrots, exactly.
Not at the same.
And I'm sure many of us understand, this is kind of nonsense when you have strawberries in the middle of winter. And you have all this food and vegetable being flown across and pumping CO2 into the atmosphere. An enormous amount of money is spent in bringing food across the world, and largely to satisfy our taste and our greed, really, for luxury food. We don't need strawberries in winter. We can do quite well without. It's total extravagance and luxury. And part of the wider message, apart from doing all these actions, it is a change of mentality, a change of the way we live our lives and the way we look upon things. That we have to return to, as much as possible, doing without all the luxuries and trying to live a simple life and being content with what we have. And this is the central teaching of all of the prophets: Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, Moses, Buddha, Krishna. Protons, neutrons, electrons, smaller than that is quarks and gluons. All the wonderful variety that we see all around us is actually all made of the same stuff. It's just space-time, matter and energy, and even they are actually the same. When you study Einstein and stuff, you get down to the roots. This is what we study in physics. It's incredible. And it is like another message from God, signs of God all around us. So, the fact that creation is interlinked, the web of life, you see. And I'm sure many of you know these amazing facts, but it's worth mentioning them again. If the bee population, if bees disappeared, human beings would disappear. The scientists tell us, because bees, they cross-pollinate the flowers, etc., and that enables the plant world to survive, that enables the animals. So the whole food chain is dependent on these things. So our existence is related to the existence of the bee. And there is a chapter in the Quran, the Quran has 114 chapters, and one of them is named the honeybee, another one is named the ant, another is named the elephant. And the spider as well, yeah. Thank you. The cow, right, yeah. It's the quiz. Name the animals.